उसकी तरफ स्माइल करके पूछा, भैया क्या हुआ? कह रहा हिंदू है मुसलमान। मैंने कहा हिंदू, मार दिया।
उसके बाद उन्होंने हिंदू कौन है ऐसे पूछा सामने से।
पूछा कि हिंदू कौन है और मुस्लिम कौन है। तो मेरे जीजा ने हाथ ऊपर किया तो उनको इधर डायरेक्ट शूट किया। हमारे सामने ही सब घुमा रहा।
I say to the whole world, India will identify, track and punish every terrorist और इस हमले की साजिश रचने वालों को उनकी कल्पना से भी बड़ी सजा मिलेगी। अब आतंकियों की बची खुची जमीन को भी मिट्टी में मिलाने का समय आ गया है।
Viewers, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi switched to English during his speech in Bihar, it was to send a message to the world. This was no ordinary speech. It was a raw, heartfelt outburst of India's anger and pain, a roar that shook the world. This was not just a leader talking, it was a father grieving for a lost child, a family mourning loved ones taken by terror, a nation boiling with rage. The fire in Modi's voice was not his alone. It was the fury of 140 crore Indians who have suffered too much for too long and are now ready to fight back. Viewers, this moment will go down in history. Modi chose English in the Hindi heartland state to make sure the world heard him loud and clear. His words were not just about India, they were for everyone, everywhere, saying that terror is humanity's enemy and India will lead the charge to crush it. His voice carried the pain of every mother who lost a son, every child left without a parent, every home broken by violence. But that pain was not weak, it was fierce, burning with a promise that India will not stay silent anymore. Viewers, PM Modi did not speak like a politician. He spoke like one of us, like a father, like a brother, a friend who's had enough. His words were full of sorrow but also strength, telling the world that India is done waiting. No more tears, no more patience. India will fight and India will win. He called on the world to join hands, but he also made it amply clear, if no one stands with us, India will stand tall and fight alone. This wasn't just a speech, it was a turning point, viewers. It showed a new India, one that's not afraid, one that's ready to lead. PM Modi's voice was a call to action, not just for Indians, but for anyone who believes in a world without terror. He promised that India will keep going until terrorism is gone for good. This was the cry of a nation that's hurting but is unbroken, grieving but is fearless. Viewers, PM Modi spoke for every Indian, vowing to honor the lives lost and protect those still here. All of us. The world has heard him and the message is unmistakable, viewers. India's fight against terror has begun and nothing will stop it. Nothing. This was a sacred pledge to people across cities and villages, a guarantee that terrorists and their masters will have nowhere to hide from India's strength and resolve. Modi's promise was a light in the dark, a commitment that India won't stay quiet or weak anymore. He spoke to every Indian, from the heartbroken to the hopeful, swearing, promising that those who spill Indian blood will face the full force of India's anger. His words were a bond, a vow that the days of letting terror go unpunished are over. He promised that India will chase down every enemy and those who harm India will face a justice so swift and strong, it will echo as a warning forever, including some on our soil.
बोला कि मुसलमान अलग हो जाओ और हिंदू अलग हो जाओ, जेंट्स को बस, और हिंदू वाले जेंट्स को गोली मार दी गन से। 3 बार कलाम बोला, 3 बार उन लोगों ने मुसलमान बोला, और जो हिंदू थे उन्हें शूट कर दिया।
इसके बारे में अभी पक्की खबर नहीं है, अलग अलग खबरें आ रही है।
जैसे उसने बोला मैं हिंदू हूँ, उसने तुरंत गोली मार दी।
ऐसा जो काफी जो 2-3 वीडियो जो आए, उन्होंने ये बताया कि गोली दागने के पहले ऐसा किसने पूछा नहीं था कि आप हिंदू हो या मुस्लिम हो।
मेरे सामने उनने 6 लोगों को गोली मारी, उनसे सिर्फ इतना पूछा मुस्लिम, किसी ने बोला हाँ, तो बोला कलमा पढ़ के बताओ, और अगर कलमा भी पढ़ दी उसके बाद उसने बोला कि अपने नीचे के कपड़े खोल के बताओ, और उनने बोला कि खातून नहीं है तुम्हारा, तो सीधे गोली मार दी। वो 15-15 साल के बच्चे हैं।
पूरी जब छानबीन होगी तब ये बातें, सच्ची बात क्या है वो सब सामने आएंगी।
किस प्रकार का डिनायल है ये? इस्लामिक आतंकवाद और इस्लामिक जिहाद को बचाने के लिए किस स्तर पर जाएंगे वोट बैंक पॉलिटिक्स के नाम पर?
Let's open this up. Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Major Gaurav Arya needs no introduction. He's editor-in-chief of Chanakya. Kaval Sibal, former foreign secretary. Sushil Pandit. Mr. A. Sarvanan, spokesperson of the DMK. Vivek Srivastav. Professor Akhil Swami, political analyst. Ravi Srivastav. And Monojit Mondal will be joining us shortly. Major Arya, I want to begin by asking you, when the Prime Minister says terrorists को मिट्टी में मिला देंगे, what does it mean?
Thank you for inviting me on your show. I think it basically means kinetic operations against terror launch pads, terrorist facilitators, and other such people. I think that is what the Prime Minister means when he says कि मिट्टी में मिला देंगे. That is the basis of his comment. He specifically said आतंकियों को मिट्टी में मिला देंगे. This also means that we will go after, I hope it means hot pursuit across the LOC. That is what we call it in the army, hot pursuit, when you chase back the terrorists into their own territory. And I think this is what he's referring to in my understanding.
Major Arya, Prime Minister also said that जो इनकी जमीन है उसे भी खत्म कर देंगे. Now this was obviously more than a metaphor. When he uses this word, zameen, what is he implying to? I want you to speak to our viewers directly because you don't mince your words. आप खुल के बोलते हैं. प्रधानमंत्री ने आज खुल के बोला है. मैं बस ये चाहता हूं कि उन्होंने जो बोला है आप उसके मायने लोगों को समझा दें.
देखिए, मैं सिर्फ एनालाइज कर सकता हूं कि जो माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने बोला है, and I think what he meant was that the handlers of the terrorists, we will go inside Pakistan, or we will send our platforms inside Pakistan, or we will physically go inside Pakistan and wipe out that place on earth which breeds and nurtures terrorists. So it essentially, for me as a military man, means cross-border operations. It means sending our platforms, our teams. They could be special forces, it could be artillery, it could be missiles, it could be anything, and to hit Pakistanis. And also I think it means hit the Pakistan army, because when he spoke about the facilitators of terrorists, people who provide them support, even Mr. Rajnath Singh said the same thing. So it means that when you go after terrorists, you don't just go after terrorists alone, you go after the people who nurture and breed those terrorists, and that essentially is the Pakistan army. One thing I'd like to say, I've never seen the Prime Minister this angry. I don't know, because I do follow his speeches on and off, but I have never seen him this upset, this angry. It is almost like every Indian, he's taken it extremely personally. It seems like he's taken it very personally, like somebody he knows closely has been shot or killed or something like that, because I've been watching this clip many times that you've just showed. I've seen it on social media also, and he seems to be extremely angry. And the sense that I'm getting by speaking to a lot of people in the forces, there is an anger in the armed forces. I've spoken to my coursemate, I've spoken to many serving officers of the army, and there is this underlying seething anger. I speak to them on a daily basis. That is my Samaj, that is my fraternity, that is my ecosystem, and I wake up in the morning every day with them on phones and messages, and there is this very deep sense of there is this anger which is very difficult to explain to viewers here. There is that deep sense of hurt, that deep sense of anger. I think they're just waiting to be unleashed. If the Prime Minister gives the orders, then Pakistan will have extremely difficult days ahead of it. Extremely, extremely difficult, because the kind of violence that the Indian Army can perpetrate, not many people know. They're capable of disproportionate violence, the Indian Army, the Air Force and the Navy. They're capable of, and I have known of this capability for a very long time. In a very, very, very small manner, I was part of this capability a long, long time ago. And there's this deep sense of anger that, give us the orders. Just give us the orders and we'll do what needs to be done. And it's going to be extremely unpleasant for Pakistan. That's all I can say. It's going to be very, very unpleasant. Today, you hear voices from Pakistan saying that, we are going to abrogate the 1972 Simla Agreement. So be it. It doesn't matter to us. It's all right. When they attacked Kargil, they already abrogated it, or they already tore up the Shimla Agreement, because, those maps were exchanged, 19 maps were exchanged between India and Pakistan at the Shimla Agreement in 1972, signed by DGMOs of both the sides and accepted by the prime ministers of both the countries. Now they've chosen to do this. And I can only tell you from a military perspective, they're very, very upset in the army. They're extremely upset in the army. I cannot emphasize how angry and upset they are. So it depends upon the political leadership, obviously. They are bound by orders of the political leadership, but should the orders be given to the Indian Armed Forces, there will be hell to pay for Pakistan. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not privy to any plans, but there will be hell to pay, believe you me, if the orders are given.
Okay. Now, Sanju Verma, Gaurav Arya is talking about, his ecosystem, that ecosystem that puts India first. Now, there's another ecosystem in our country that puts votes first and everything, that betrays India. That ecosystem is also upset and hurt. They are upset and they are hurt that the Prime Minister was doing a political rally.
Pranesh, first and foremost, let me make one thing very, very clear to your viewers. I think it was an excellent move on the part of the Prime Minister to send a pointed and categorical message to the powers that be, the deep state in Pakistan, through, that excellent speech at Madhubani, where he basically reinforced in no uncertain terms that जो बची खुची जमीन भी है पाकिस्तान के पास, उसको भी मिट्टी में मिला देंगे. Imagine the Prime Minister mincing no words and calling out the bluff of Pakistan for what it is, clearly saying that the punishment that will be handed over to Pakistan is something that is beyond their imagination, and that the backs of terrorist masterminds, terror masterminds, those will be broken for good. So the point that I'm trying to make in a limited sense is this. The Prime Minister was not engaging in an election rally as the opposition would have you believe. The Prime Minister was sending a message loud and clear, and I'm sure that message was received in as much intensity as it was supposed to be. The second and most important point is this. Prime Minister's priority is elections, says Pawan Khera, and I have to read this tweet out to showcase the rabid hypocrisy of the Congress party, the brazenness with which they go about making reckless allegations even in these kind of times, when one would expect a modicum of sensitivity from the Congress top brass and middle brass. Pawan Khera put out a tweet or a post today at 10:05 in the morning saying, Prime Minister's priority is elections, JDU's priority is the Prime Minister, all-party meeting on terror attack can wait. And only a couple of hours later, Pawan Khera had a nice big fat omelette on his face because the all-party meeting had excellent representation, be it an Owaisi, be it Ram Gopal Yadav from the Samajwadi Party, a Sanjay Singh from Aam Aadmi Party, or even Mallikarjun Kharge and Rahul Gandhi from the Congress Party, so on and so forth. So the government has done what any mature government will do. It has taken the opposition in confidence, taken them on board, and taken their feedback, shared what needs to be shared with them, so that India as a united force can do what needs to be done to avenge the deaths of those 28 hapless Indians and Hindus no less. But my most important point is this. For everybody out there who's saying that, oh, Prime Minister Modi is only engaging in, a diplomatic, soft peddling kind of a warfare, and we are not doing what needs to be done. Let me say what our military strategy is, what we will finally do. That is not going to be discussed on prime time at 8 or prime time on 9. And, if anybody has amnesia, I would like to remind them, 2016, the surgical strike, avenging what happened in Uri. I think nobody anticipated that. And Prime Minister Modi showcased that he's made of sterner stuff than what people give him credit for. And we followed that up, Pranesh, with the 2019 Balakot strike to avenge what happened in Pulwama, when we destroyed more than 30 terror launchpads of Pakistan, went 30 kilometers deep into the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa area, which something no post-independent India government has ever done, despite provocations from Pakistan. So we've done what needed to be done, and we will do what needs to be done to ensure that Pakistan understands once and for all that terror and water, terror and dialogue cannot go together. And my last 10 seconds is this. Apart from all the other measures that, closing the Atari-Wagah border checkpost, reducing the permanent commission staff strength from 50 to 30, calling back our diplomatic military advisors and attaches from the Indian High Commission in Pakistan, asking the diplomatic and military advisors in the Pakistan High Commission here, telling them they're persona non grata and giving them a week to leave. All those we know, cancelling medical visas, cancelling student visas under the SARC visa exempt scheme. Those are out in the public domain. But I think the most deadly blow, which will eventually play out, is the fact that we've decided to put in abeyance the Indus Water Treaty. Don't forget that India controls Bias, Ravi, Sutlej, and Indus feeds Pakistan's Sindh province. Pakistan's Punjab province survives on water from Chenab and Jhelum, and both Chenab and Jhelum rise in India. Even a partial squeeze from India can lead to a collapse of irrigation in Pakistan's Punjab and Sindh provinces. And Pakistan's water table is plunging, their canal system is completely in disarray, and add to that the fact that Pakistan's economy is virtually in the throes of bankruptcy. Can you, 10 seconds more, Pranesh.
There are many who say that this is, all this is not enough, that you have to go beyond this. Mr. Saravanan, what do you make of the response so far and the Prime Minister's remarks today?
Yeah, see, this is a dastardly attack aimed at Indians. And every Indian's feeling is to avenge this. They have to pay a price for what has happened. And the Prime Minister today has promised that he will do something. This is one aspect. The other thing is, there is a word called accountability. Any responsible government goes by the word accountability. Who is accountable for this? Who is responsible for this intelligence failure? Who will take responsibility in the Indian government? Has anybody spoken about that? When 2008 happened, the then Home Minister resigned. The Chief Minister of that party, the state resigned. The Home Minister of that state resigned. The National Security Advisor of the country resigned. Who is going to take responsibility and who is going to resign now? And are we going to listen to these sermons? Oh, his eyes have become very red. His nostrils are flaring. Every Indian's nostril is flaring of what has happened. And is this the response we want? Going out in a political rally and speaking, I will do this, I will do that. Why did the Prime Minister not attend the all-party meeting? Is a political rally in Bihar more important than an all-party meeting that has been convened to discuss the future course of action about what had happened in Pahalgam, about 27 Indians killed? Did you show this video, Pranay, in your show? In your show, did you show this video of this young child who has lost his parents? Did you show this video in your channel? This child sums up everything. There was no security.
Mr. Saravanan, the show began with this video.
Mr.
Saravanan, the show began with this video. But let me bring in Major Arya, because when he spoke, he was telling you how the soldiers are feeling. You are talking about intelligence failure. Look, there are many in the opposition who, failed to even name Pakistan. Major Arya.
See, there are two. I don't think I would request all the people who represent political parties here, this is not the time. हर एक समय की एक मर्यादा होती है. हर समय हर कुछ नहीं बोलना होता. The nation is grieving. Let the Prime Minister express himself the way he wants to express himself. He has been chosen the Prime Minister. He has not been appointed the Prime Minister like they do in Pakistan. He's been chosen by all of us. We have voted. Many of us may have voted for him. That is why he became the Prime Minister. I don't think this is the time for political parties. Why did you do that? Why did you do this? Intelligent. Wait, everything. You can demand everything. If you think there is an intelligence failure, absolutely you must demand for an inquiry. My request to you is, this is not the time. This is the time when the armed forces are being briefed. This is the time when intelligence agencies are being briefed. This is the time when they must be preparing for military action. I don't think our soldiers need this sort of thing that, ye kyun bol diya, isne kyun bol diya, wo yahan pe kyun chala gaya, isne aisa kyun bol diya. These things, while they are important to politicians, and I respect that, I'm not saying that your points are, in no way less important than what the Prime Minister is saying. You're equally, you have every right to say whatever you wish to say. All I'm requesting you is, and this is a request, a humble request, this is not the time. There are voices coming from Pakistan calling for war. Right? This is not the time to say that my party feels. Some gentleman from some party initially, you showed a video in which he was saying that there is no proof that the religion was asked for, and there is no, what sort of nonsense is this? Kuch bhi bolte hain. There is no sense of respect for those who have, died, who've been killed. There is no sense of proportion at all. Right? If a child is saying that, my parents were killed because they were Hindu. I mean, what proof do they want? Do they want some Chief Justice of India to be standing there and saying that I have personally witnessed this? Keh to rahe hain wo log. And this is exactly what Asim Munir has been saying all along. We are two different people. We, of course, don't subscribe to the two-nation theory, but the people who have done the killing, they do. They're monsters. So, right now, I think is the time. And in another debate, I was with Vivek in Times Now only today, and Vivek and I were together in a discussion, and it got quite heated, in which Vivek said, okay, all said and done, what we need to do is stand firmly behind the Prime Minister right now. ये सवाल जवाब का वक्त आएगा 10-15 दिन के बाद. ये बाद में, we'll question. Of course we'll question the Prime Minister. Of course we'll question the government. Of course we'll ask for, accountability of the intelligence services, और वहां पे क्यों नहीं था, क्या नहीं था, ये सब हम पूछेंगे. लेकिन आज की तारीख में, when the armed forces may be called to mobilize, maybe when troops are moving as we speak to the border, nobody knows. Maybe the orders have been given and we don't know till now. Maybe troops are moving to the border. Maybe the guns are being readied. Maybe a special forces team is waiting at the line of control to go across. And there is 4G at the line of control. They watch all this. They watch what you say, and it impacts them. Because they are fighting for you and me, and some of them, God forbid this happens, but this is the truth of soldiering. Some of them in the next few days may have to lay down their lives for you and me. So I think now is not the time. Do this after some time. Of course, question the Prime Minister, question the Home Minister, question the intelligence agencies, question the Raksha Mantri. You want to question anybody, question. But don't do it right now, because aaj wo waqt nahi hai. Every time ना, हर समय वोट की राजनीति करना, वोट हमें मिल जाएगा, हमें 2 वोट मिल जाएंगे, 3 मिल जाएंगे, आज की तारीख में मत करो भाई. मेरी ये रिक्वेस्ट है आपसे, एक फौजी की रिक्वेस्ट है, बाकी आपकी मर्जी है.
Mr. Saravanan, are you willing to wait, sir?
Yeah, Pranay. Yes. No, Pranay. Oh, wonderful. What you had said is wonderful. This is the feeling of every Indian. It has to be avenged. Yes, the soldiers are there at the border. Mr. The major, the ex-army man who was speaking so eloquently, why have you not given this gyan to the Prime Minister, to the BJP, to all the right-wing trawlers?
Mr. Saravanan, this is not gyan. 1 minute, sir, 1 minute. Mind your language, first of all. This is not gyan. This is this is plain speak by a soldier. Now, I can't help if you think the sentiment of a soldier. No, 1 minute, sir, 1 minute. Let me speak. Mr. Saravanan, just 1 minute, sir. Hold on, please. You're not that's precisely what, Gaurav Arya was saying. This is not the time. But you can't even wait for 5 minutes. I mean, you know, let what Gaurav Arya said sink in. Let those thoughts sink in, sir. Don't jump the gun like this. Please, this is not Gyan. Vivek Srivastava, is this Gyan to you? When a soldier speaks?
Ji. No, see, yes, I respect Gaurav and I have been following him for a long time. He has made major contributions when he was in the forces, and after that also he is contributing in his own way. So a lot of respect for him, and it is always a pleasure, and I feel good when he's in the panel. And yes, I always listen to the soldiers. We should all listen to the soldiers. And right now the government of India could be preparing for something. Diplomatic solutions could be, thought of. We must be in, touch with other countries as well. We must be writing something in the United Nations. तो बहुत कुछ सरकार कर रही होगी. कोई भी सरकार होती, कोई भी पार्टी होती, करती. हम सरकार के साथ हैं. All opposition parties को भी बुलाया गया था all party meet में. People went over there. We are waiting for the Prime Minister to give instructions to us again, especially to the leader of opposition, Shri Rahul Gandhi. So we stand together. There is absolutely no doubt about it. My only problem is when we have a Shubhendu Adhikari in West Bengal trying to force one of the ladies, who was there, one of the victims, ki aap boliye saab, Hinduon ne mara. I have a problem when, जब पूरे हिंदुस्तान को एक साथ होना चाहिए हिंदू मुसलमानों को.
Vivek Srivastava, I'll tell you what the problem is. There is an NCP leader who's insulting the survivors and the people who were killed by terrorists. Gaurav Arya ne bhi wahi bola. There are people who are still in denial. वो बोल रहे हैं कि सबूत दो that Hindus were identified and killed. So that's the worrying thing. Vivek Srivastava, I can't see you on screen. Where have you disappeared? Who will answer for that?
I'm here. I'm very much there. I'll tell you. Give me 10 seconds. Very clearly, you have quoted one NCP leader, but you cannot see the candle march of all the Muslims in Pahalgam who said जो हुआ गलत हुआ, हमारा इससे लेना देना नहीं. आज शाहीन बाग में जंतर मंतर पे पूरे देश के मुसलमान प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं, प्रधानमंत्री के साथ खड़े हैं, कह रहे हैं आप एक्शन लीजिए और इस देश का मुसलमान आपके साथ है, हमारा इससे कोई लेना देना नहीं, हमारा दीन हमारा इस्लाम हमको ये सिखाता नहीं है. लेकिन अगर एक सेक्शन राइट विंग का या बीजेपी का या फ्रिंज एलिमेंट्स का या वीएचपी का, बजरंग दल का खड़े होकर के इसको हिंदू और मुसलमानों में हमें बांटेगा तो हमें प्रॉब्लम है. आज हिंदू और मुसलमान एक रहें और प्राइम मिनिस्टर के साथ रहें, अपनी गवर्नमेंट के साथ रहें. और जिसने
Vivek Srivastava, calm down first of all. This is not, no, 1 minute. No one is trying to divide people. But you must call out the truth. Sushil Pandit.
Thank you, Pranesh, for having me on the show. But no, thank you for putting me among the wrong people from the very beginning. Be that as it may, I would like to say something which is probably necessary, even if unpleasant. What happened at Pahalgam, as terrible a carnage as it may be, was not worse than what happened in 2008. Was not worse than what happened in 1993 when Bombay saw serial blasts. Was not worse than what happened in 1990 when 500,000 of us were chased out of Kashmir and stayed put out of our homes even today, and thousands of us still in refugee camps. What I'm trying to say is, this is something that has been happening over and over again in different measures of degree, in different levels of bestiality, time and again. And those who perpetrate it live and survive the day to do it again and again and again. I don't think this Prime Minister needed more than 11 years in power to realize as to what has been happening and where it is coming from. I welcome his resolve, I welcome his pledge, I welcome his anger, I welcome all that he said and wants to do. But it is so many years too late and so many lives lost in between. Why does Dawood Ibrahim still live? Why does Hafiz Saeed still live? Why is Lashkar and Jaish still intact? Why is Pakistan again and again planning all this? And I'm afraid, I'm a bit cynical today. I didn't hear him speak. I am only responding to what I've heard he said, because my faith in speeches has long gone now. When I see some action, I will applaud. When I last saw someone say, Mitti mein Mila Denge, on the floor of assembly, he delivered. I hope this time also, if Mitti mein Mila Denge is delivered, I will stand up and salute. But till then, I'll hold back and I'll watch and I'll pray that whoever is preparing, whoever is deciding, whoever is raising his spirits and preparing to go and avenge this, and not just avenge, not just cool down the temper the rest of the country, not just assuage the feelings, the hurt, but really break the back, really crush terror and jihad. Not just to score a point, but to truly this time, truly finish this forever, once and for all, because it has gone on for too long. In repeated cycles, it has now become genocidal. Now, district after district are on the verge of being cleansed of Hindus, be it Murshidabad, which is the latest. So therefore, while it is welcome what he said, I'm afraid people, rest of the country, would believe, would really would like to see these words come true on ground.
No, we understand.
And our boys who are
Mr.
preparing
Pandit,
for
we
it,
understand where you're coming from, your sentiment, all of it is justified. In fact, Sanju Verma began by saying all of that, the nation is seething in anger, people are angry. Gaurav Arya said that in as many words. But you see the larger point that you've made about people, confronting the truth, the opposition is in denial. Now, Ravi Srivastav, what is the kind of commentary going on? People are saying, Pradhan Mantri ki wajah se ho gaya.
Pranesh, good evening. First of all, my heartfelt condolences to the 28 families who lost their loved ones. I just want to say, let the Prime Minister walk his talk. The country is with him. Today's opposition parties, they assembled, they all have given their resolve that they are behind the Prime Minister. They are giving full support, all parties are giving full support to the Prime Minister for action he wishes to take. Now, I'm not a defense personnel. I do not know whether the army has been sounded, whether the people are moved to the LOC, whether the arms are being arranged, or whether any such action is being taken.
Ravi Srivastav, sir, 1 minute. Sir, 1 minute. You may not be an army personnel, but it does not take too much to, understand what a soldier is saying, whether serving or retired. And the reason I am saying this is because no one in this country has forgotten the kind of narrative after the surgical strikes. Prominent leaders of opposition were saying, what did you do? Some trees were hit. Nothing happened. Show us the proof. Professor Akhil Swami, एक तरफ लोग बोल रहे हैं कि हम प्रधानमंत्री के साथ हैं, पूरा देश एक साथ है, और फिर दूसरी तरफ वो सबूत गैंग खड़ा है.
See, first of all, when the whole nation is standing behind the Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, and there is a all-party meet, and every opposition party is reiterating that we are with the country and we are with the Prime Minister. I don't know as to why some panelists and some handles of BJP from Chhattisgarh, from Karnataka and Gujarat are spreading the message and weakening the country from inside. They are trying to create a divide between Hindu and Muslims. See, the Kashmiri Muslims have kept their promise of Kashmiriyat, and they have donated blood to the injured there. They have taken risk on their lives to save the tourists there, and they have given their life also. They have provided free services to
so what does that
tourists
mean?
there.
No, Professor Akhil Swami, what does that mean? Does that take away from the truth that people who got killed were killed for their faith? They were marked and murdered, sir. They were asked their identity and then they were killed. So what is this blood donation theory that you've come out with?
Can I answer? Can I answer?
Please,
see,
sir.
These terrorists came from Pakistan, and this is the natural. Let me speak. This is the first desire of the Pakistani terrorists to divide India from inside. Because India is right now surrounded by three great enemies, big enemies. We were to protect our 10,000 kilometer borders with China and Pakistan. Now we are surrounded by Bangladesh also, and we have to defend our 14,000 kilometers. Pakistan terrorists wanted to divide India from inside. When the Muslims are repeatedly saying they are standing with the country, who are these?
Okay.
Anti-national elements who are trying
to
you,
but you know, let the soldier first take this question. Gaurav Arya, quick response to Professor Akhil Swami. You see, this blood donation theory has now come in.
See, nobody is saying that all the Kashmiri Muslims are like this or like that. Nobody is making that comment, and neither should we. But the fact of the matter is, yes, if somebody gave blood, excellent, great. If somebody condemned it, great. But the fact of the matter is that these terrorists could not have done this operation without local support. It's impossible. You cannot do it. It is impossible in any manner. If I were to go, let us say, to Bangalore today or to Mumbai today, as a normal person and go sightseeing, I will have to get down at the airport and I need local support. I need the taxi person there. I need a hotel guy. I need a guide to show me around. I cannot do it. Forget about Kashmir. I can't do it in Bangalore. I can't do it in Mumbai. I can't do it in Jaipur. I can't do it anywhere in the country. Similarly, if these people came and they stayed here for 15, 20, 25 days, 1 month, you cannot do that without local support. Local support is oxygen to terrorism. That is how terrorists operate. Anybody who's worn the uniform, anybody who's carried a gun along the line of control, like I have, and we have countered infiltration along the line of control, this is not to say that everybody in Kashmir is like that. Nobody is making that comment. Some of the finest people I have met are Kashmiri Muslims. But the fact of the matter is that, you cannot wipe everything with a broad brush and say that कि जी ये ऐसी होता है और ये तो कह रहे हैं कि सब एक जैसे हैं, उन्होंने तो खून दिया होगा खून सर, कोई मना नहीं कर रहा. Of course they might have given blood. Many would have helped with evacuation. Many would have given food and water. Many would have protested. But it's also the truth that you cannot have a terrorist act like this, any large scale or small scale, without local support. It is impossible. It is like saying that I can survive without oxygen. You can't survive without local support. You can't do it. 26/11 required local support. The 1993 bomb blast required local support. You can't do it without local support. Why are we lying to each other here? हम क्यों झूठ बोल रहे हैं?
Sanju Verma, the opposition says the BJP is now using this Pahalgam attack to drive a wedge between Hindus and Muslims.
You know, Pranesh, first and foremost, let me make one thing very clear. I heard most panelists, and I can understand everybody's anguish, the outrage, the seething anger, that, a quick solution needs to be had. All that is absolutely par for the course. We are all going through trying times, But what I fail to understand, and what I completely don't accept, and what is completely unforgiving, what is completely unpardonable, is that nobody on the panel, and I'm not an Islamophobe, I think there are some great progressive Muslims, so let's not tarnish everybody with a black brush, but let's call out the elephant in the room. And I'm surprised today on your show, nobody has addressed the elephant in the room. What is the elephant in the room? The elephant in the room is this, that all the 27 or 28 odd people who died that horrific death, they died because they were Hindus. And who were they butchered by? Who were they killed by? They were killed by radical Islamist terrorists. Does terror have a religion? Yes. Does terror have a name? Yes. It's high time we stop pussyfooting. It's high time we start naming and shaming radical Islamist terror for what it is. 9 out of top 10 terror organizations in the world have a radical Islamist DNA. ये बीजेपी नहीं कह रही, ये संजू वर्मा नहीं कह रही. This is what the United Nations has said. from ISIS to Al-Qaeda to Boko Haram to Al-Shabaab to Jamaat-ul-Dawa to Jamaat-e-Islami. You know, you just look around you. Every terror attack has as its core DNA radical Islam. And I'm surprised you question the BJP. We are of course there to be held accountable. We are not like the Congress who will, you know, say कि अच्छा भाई 2008 का terror attack हुआ मुंबई में 166 people are dead. Fali Homi Major, the then IAF chief, tells Sonia Gandhi's kitchen cabinet we are willing to avenge. But Sonia Gandhi and Manmohan Singh डर कांपते हुए कहते नहीं लश्कर तैयबा के साथ हमको भिड़ना नहीं है. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has the will and the conviction and the determination to avenge what happened in Pahalgam. But why is it, even with full humility to, you know, Mr. Sushil Pandit, he's absolutely right in demanding answers. But I wish he had shown the courage to name radical Islam for what it is. He completely whitewashed that.
No, ma'am, I think Sushil Pandit, I mean, you know, Sushil Pandit, for one, never shies away from taking a stand. Gaurav Arya is also saying something.
I'm sorry to interrupt, my apologies, but I wanted to say in this entire panel and almost every other panel on television, if there is one victim of radical Islam, it is people like Sushil Pandit. He was trying to make, Sushil Bhai was trying to make a certain point. I don't think we should take his name like that because he has truly suffered and you know, he has truly suffered. I don't think he's a great person, he's a great human being, and I don't think we should insult Sushil Bhai by saying that he did not call out. He spent his life countering radical Islamists. His contributions are too many to count, so I don't think we should do that.
No, forget the contributions. When it comes to naming and shaming Islamist terror, I don't think, you know, Sushil Pandit needs any introduction to that. I'm actually surprised by. I think Sanju Verma was trying to point out Vivek Srivastava, Ravi Srivastava, but because like Sushil ji said कि हमको गलत जगह बिठा दिया है, इसीलिए हो गया शायद. Sushil Pandit.
Yeah, I think of all the charges, to be soft on Islamic terror coming to me, I don't know. I take it like a joke. This is incredible. I'd never heard anyone accuse me of at least this bit. In fact, on the contrary, I am often being told to go soft and be a little more balanced and, you know, try and be even-handed and be a little more circumspect. Actually, not invite trouble on myself, because I often skirt the red line, the so-called invisible red line, and shouldn't cross it. But today is the day, again, to reiterate, because people like Anil Deshmukh, I don't know who let him out. This man should have been locked up and the keys thrown in the Arabian Sea. I thought he was still in jail. This guy is a man who gives suparis, he goes on extortions, he has links with the underworld. He resigned because of his criminality. And why should camera ever be shoved towards him for his comments? The man doesn't deserve any airtime. And I'm grateful to BJP for not admitting him along with the other NCP cabal, like they have various other worthies of his ilk and who sound like him and who behaved like him in the past. Thank God. And thank you so much, Sanju Verma, for not admitting him into the BJP.
Okay. Monojit Mondal, is this the right time for politics? Can we not, for a change, speak in one voice? No ifs, no buts.
I think when all the political parties met today, they gave their unconditional support to the Prime Minister, but the BJP has to act. First of all, that's the point number one. And point number two, which is very important, BJP and their political lackeys must not get themselves into the trap of this Munir. And everyone understands that what Munir was saying 7 days ago, I think has direct corollary in this terrorist. And exactly that's what someone like Shubhendu Adhikari and others are doing in India. by dividing a wedge between the Hindus and Muslims, which remain their very favorite political narrative. For God's sake, please do not do this now. Because you have an enemy and all the people of this country must be united what they did 100 years ago during the British regime. Because of the same kind of foreign enemy. You have the foreign enemy, Hindus, Muslims must be united. Because only unity can fight us. Fight these terrorists
Professor
together.
Mondal, 1 minute, sir. Is everything okay with you? No one is saying that Hindus and Muslims are not united.
Facts remain.
Who's saying that we are not united? We are obviously united. Not just Hindus and Muslims. But no, 1 minute, sir, 1 minute. No, Sikhs, Christians, Parsis, Jains, 1 minute, sir. Buddhists, we are all united. But that does not mean that, you whitewash Islamist terror. These people, when they target, they see the ID card and then they open fire. That's a fact. That does not mean that we are not united. So, don't do this. What you're doing is a disservice. Professor Mondal, it may, sound fancy, but it is not right. It is not right. Gaurav Arya, this is for the 4th time or the 3rd time that this has come up on the panel. And there's another person, who knows a thing or two about this. Kanwal Sibal is here with us, former Foreign Secretary, Ambassador. Ambassador Sibal, I'm asking you a straightforward question. Pawan, can we have Ambassador Sibal? Yes, I think he can hear us. Sir, I've seen a clip, this was, I think, recorded post the Balakot strikes where you shared stage with Mr. Dullat, the former RAW chief. Now, Mr. Dullat also is from an ecosystem that advocates for talks with Pakistan. Mr. Dullat, I don't know why, but he can't see that Pakistan is behind everything that these Islamist terrorists are doing. From funding to, patronizing them, to shielding them, etc., etc. What would you tell Mr. Dullat and people like him?
Well, I've had differences with him on this issue for a long time. And I can't, for the life of me, see why he continues to argue this case of dialogue with Pakistan. Most recently he said that time is running out, the sands of time are running out, and we should engage Pakistan and this and that. Now, I would have thought that having been the head of the India's intelligence agency, he would have professionally dealt principally with the security threats from Pakistan, because that's the biggest security threat we have. And RNAW has been created for what? To actually combat external security threats of India, which are centered around Pakistani activities and all the ecosystem that they have created in various countries, whether in the UK or in Canada, right, or even US and Australia, in the Anglo-Saxon world, and in the Islamic world, as well as in the OIC. These are the kind of things that our intelligence agency is supposed to have been dealing with. Now, all that experience, information, feedback, that
but that is not showing. And let me ask you, the next question, Mr. Ambassador Sibal. What is it? Is their heart not in the right place? Have they, sold their soul? Or is there, something more? Like, money changing hands? What is it?
No. I won't go as far as that. I mean, no, certainly. I think it could be partly ideological, because the view that we have to live in peace with our neighbors, and therefore we have to see what best we can do, engage them and this and that. That could be one aspect. The other could be that we know the close friendship he has with the...
No, but you are saying, Ambassador Sibal, that this could be ideological. Now, what ideology? Major Arya, what is this ideology that refuses to put India first? And I'm talking about, Amarjit Singh Dullat and all the others who speak in one voice for Pakistan. You know the others, that I'm talking about. I don't want to take their names.
No, I think it's just I think it's some sort of intellectual snobbery, because they feel that the more intelligent you are, you have to speak in a certain manner. And this is how the left ecosystem works in India. Even if you speak about Mr. Dullat or anybody else, that is how, to be accepted in those circles, you have to speak a certain language. It's spoken in universities, it's spoken by some very senior government functionaries also. Now, like he wrote a book along with the DGISI. At that point in time, he wrote a book. Mr. Dullat wrote a book. Why would the chief of RAW write a book with the chief of the ISI? He's your sworn enemy. I mean, that is why you were appointed as the head of India's external intelligence agency. To harm Pakistan, not to write books with Pakistanis. And like Mr. Sibal very rightly said, ये होता है किन्हीं में ना दिमाग में कीड़ा होता है. You can't get rid of it. It's I don't know how to explain it. I mean, it's just there. I don't think it's money. I don't think it's influence. It's just a sickness of the mind. It's just a sickness. It's just a mental illness which makes people say that Pakistan is your enemy. Pakistan has done everything to harm you. And here the chief of India's external intelligence agency comes up on media and says, the sands of time are running out. How poetic. The sands of time are running out. And a few days later, Pahalgam happens. So I don't know what to make of it.
No, even I was not sure, which is why I just happened to ask him कि sir बता दीजिए अगर पैसे की बात है तो वो भी बता दीजिए. And you're saying that this is some sickness. We must not just treat terrorists in the language they understand. We must also try and address this problem, because there are many, at least some on this panel like Vivek Srivastav, who are also not very far from what Mr. Dullat has been saying. If given to him, if he had a chance or his way, he would say same things or even more. Who knows? But viewers, let's not lose sight of what we are confronting. We are confronting an enemy that seeks to divide India. And we must speak in one voice against Islamist radical terrorism. That's the least we can do as our tribute to our martyrs and to the 28 people who've been slaughtered by the Islamist terrorists. I thank all of you for joining us on India Upfront. The news are on the other side.